Here comes a short recap, what you need to keep in mind to succeed. So before you read, check who is the author. Has he or she written anything else? What is the typical style? The genre? Fiction, romance, fantasy? The title? How does it fit into the story itself? Is there any introduction where the author provides extra information? What does the cover look like? Because then they can be some kind of mini reviews. How is it connected to the inside of the story? As you read, remember the setting, the characters, the plot, the theme, the message, the language and technique. If you read through this before and keep it in mind, you will find something that you see, the author is really good at this, and you would like to comment upon it. Does it make you feel that you're inside the story? Do the characters feel real? Is the plot interesting? Does it catch your attention? And when you're ready to write, first of all, sit down, think things over. What was this book about? And write a short summary of what you remember. Don't write too much, but just to help you. And what would you like your reader to know? So always remember your audience. So when you introduce, for instance, the characters, be careful. Because you can have things in your mind, but I don't understand it, and the reader doesn't understand it either. So you need to be more descriptive. Perhaps when you write the summary, you can give a few main points of the main characters that will help me or other readers to, that is what it's all about. Sometimes there are minor characters that are not that important. Do you agree or disagree with them? Why do you think the author has put them there? Do you think they're important? And sometimes it's good to have different notes like this, and you put them in order, and you see, here I got a lot about the setting, here I got about the characters. What should I focus on? Perhaps you could take away something that is not that important and focus on something that you feel like, yes, this is more important in this book. Don't be afraid of taking away things. But if you have them on different small papers, instead of just sitting like writing directly on the computer, it's good to have notes to see actually what is important. And then when you find the passages in your book, I would like to bring in this quote because that's more important than that one. That explains how the character is, or what it looks like, or why it makes me feel so much about this specific moment that the author is describing. So be sure to leave plenty of room for this evaluation, because this is what is really important in a book review. So, are you ready now to hand in your essay? I think you should check it more than once, because there are students who are so sad. Oh, I should have thought about that. I knew that. So check the English. You can use spell check programs that you find at least in Word. I am not that well acquainted with other programs. Read through each paragraph. Make sure that the main point is clear. Don't be afraid of taking away and rewriting your sentence. But if you read the paragraph, does it really pinpoint what you would like to say, for instance, about the character or the setting? Because it should be a vivid picture in my mind when I read it. Not just, yes, it was a man. What was he like? If you find yourself that a sentence is strange, a little bit unclear, for instance, this is an example here that you find if you read it, if you download the PowerPoint or PDF. It says, Boo Radley is this mysterious man that lives next door to where Scout lives, and she and her friends tell stories that are scary about Boo, except they don't really know much about him, which is one of the reasons To Kill a Mockingbird is so suspenseful. There are many interesting words here, and the person, obviously, I have picked this from an essay, but it could have been good to divide it into different sentences and think about when you write a sentence or a paragraph, what exactly are you trying to convey when you write this? What is the purpose of this sentence? Because here it's really difficult to really see what is the focus here. So let's see what you can do instead. A man called Boo Radley lives next door. Very short sentence. If you mix short and long sentences, it becomes very nice to read. Very few people have ever seen Bo, and Scout and her friends have a lot of fun telling scary stories about him. The mystery about Bo Radley is just one of the reasons you want to keep turning the pages to find out what happens in To Kill a Mockingbird. So you see, it's really saying the same thing, but it's so much easier to read. So avoid these gigantic long sentences. If you have problems, make them shorter. It doesn't matter. And make sure you don't repeat yourself, because then it becomes a little bit boring to read, dull. If it's said before, remove it. Do I really need it? Can I put it together with the other paragraph to sort of fill it up a little bit more? Think about that. And the formal English. Think about that repetitive texts are boring to read. So vary your sentences and use linking words. I'll go into that in the next film, so please look at that one as well. Now it's time for formal English in my next movie.